And it's like, screw those guys. I can kick their ass and I'm fat. Hey guys, this is Rick, the Outer Assassin, and welcome to Spit Take. Make sure you visit our website at spittakers.wixsites.com/spit-take. There you will find the hub for blogs, video clips of our podcast, our full podcast, and social media pages where we will share pop culture news. We also have a new Rumble. Our channel is Spit Take Podcast. Now I'm going to kick it over to Adam and Sam. What is going on, gentlemen?
Not a whole lot. I'm sitting here in my ugly Christmas sweater that I was wearing at my office party today. Wasn't much of a party. We just had some nice lunch, but good people to work with. What about you, Sam?
I am currently trying to make sure I don't lose my voice during this podcast, so I'm drinking a little Earl Grey tea with some honey and some nice creamer.
Nice.
It looks like nobody's high or drunk today, so that's
Well,
interesting.
not yet. Cheers.
I'm drinking water.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I guess I'm the only one drinking. Got a little Buffalo Trace with me.
I think you have a problem.
Yeah, that's
Adam,
what they say.
Adam, I've been meaning to tell you something.
Well,
you know what? We all love you. We're here to support you.
Yeah. Well, luckily you guys live too far away to have an intervention for me. So
yeah, I forgot to bring my gun anyways.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Where's
like,
the
hey,
damn grease fire?
Yeah. So this week I actually this is something I just want to talk about. I went for work Christmas thing. We went up to the Pabst Theater up in Milwaukee, and we saw A Christmas Carol, and it was awesome. I haven't been to see a play in a long time, but it was a lot of fun. And you kind of forget how dark that show really is until you watch it. And how kind of messed up it really is. Because as I was watching, there's a whole scene where Scrooge is in school, and he, and one of his friends like, oh, you can come home with me for Christmas. He's like, oh no, my daddy won't like that. He'll hit me and all that. And I was like, hold on a second. I was like, so these ghosts are targeting somebody who was like a victim of child abuse? And I was like, there's much worse people in the world that could probably benefit from this Christmas shit. But for some reason they go after Scrooge, and I was like, I feel like it's kind of undeserved. Like, I just kind of wanted to be left alone. And he's like, dude, I've had enough of your stuff. Like, I just kind of want to do my own thing. I don't really like Christmas. But it's like, hey, you know what? We're going to make you like Christmas. It was, as I was sitting there, I was like thinking about it, and I was like, okay, interesting. And you don't see it as much in the Muppets adaptation. They don't really talk about the child abuse in there. But it was something. But I will say, even though I was thinking about that, the play was excellent. And if you live in the area, go up, check it out. It's really good. It's running through next week. But really, really good show, and it was a lot of fun. So,
well, how's it unlike that movie Trick or Treat? First of all, I find it concerning that you guys didn't get my "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia" reference. When Danny DeVito, they did when he was drinking too much. But anyways, remember in Trick or Treat, the show where he didn't follow the rules of Halloween?
Yeah.
Is it like Scrooge kind of a horror movie or horror story, and the ghosts kind of go after him, except like less murder? I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It's just ghosts kind of like, hey, if you don't follow the rules of Christmas, you're gonna die.
Right.
No, it's first off, I gotta say, I did get the reference. I'm sorry it didn't come across, but I did get that reference there, Rick. And second, I never really felt like it was, hey, celebrate Christmas the way we want you to celebrate Christmas. I always felt like it was more, you can help people. People don't have to grow up like you grew up. You can help people. You don't have to be a Scrooge.
Yeah, well, and that is like kind of the central theme of it. It's just like,
but isn't that the spirit of Christmas?
Yeah. Well, so like it was something when you're watching it, I was watching the play, and, they were encouraging him to use his money to do that. And it's like, he's trying to save up. Like, who knows? Like, we don't know the epilogue, which, by the way, is going to be a great episode someday when we do it. Epilogues we didn't get of our favorite movies. But like, you don't see the epilogue, you don't know what happens after So this takes place in the 1840s. That's when it was written, at least. But like, you don't know what happens afterwards. Like, was there maybe a recession and all of a sudden he was destitute and became homeless? We don't know. Like, it didn't seem like he was making enough money where he was comfortable to hand it out. Like, he had some money and they were just like, oh, you're just not giving enough money to other people. I mean, it's kind of a socialist message when you really look at it.
And the spirit of Christmas is supposed to be giving. That's what they're saying. And
Yeah.
also, don't staple antlers onto a mouse.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. We learned that one from Scrooged.
Mhm.
I like that movie. I haven't watched it this season yet. We did talk about it in the last podcast though, and we didn't spend a lot of time on it because we were running a little long. But that is probably the best
And
Christmas Carol adaptation.
there's so many versions of Scrooge, not virgins. I don't know. Was Scrooge a virgin? I don't know, but he didn't have any children, so maybe
Yeah.
that's why he was cranky, because he was a virgin.
He wasn't getting any.
Bill Murray wasn't, though, but there's so many versions of Scrooge. Like, they have to do it so many different ways. It's like, but it's a timeless classic. Like, it never gets old. Doesn't matter how many different ways you tell it.
No, they do they did it with Mickey Mouse. They did it with the Muppets, which is the best version of that
Why
in
hasn't
reality.
SpongeBob done it?
I think it's up here.
With the Krabby Patty.
Yeah,
He
I mean, that would probably be a good one. Probably be good. But they've done so many versions, and I love the Muppets version because Michael Caine
Oh, it's so
played
good.
it.
Michael Caine is
Yeah.
so good in that.
Well, he is, because he played it as if he wasn't talking to Muppets. He played it as if he was talking to people.
He was a freaking actor. Like that. You are so right. Like, he was an actor in that. I think we talked about that last year too. Like, outside the podcast,
We
I think messaging back and forth. I think I messaged you guys. I was like, dude, he owned that shit.
When I read things about how he was going into it, not thinking of it as a Muppets movie, and he was like, I'm going to do this like it's a Broadway play. And it was the silliness of the Muppets mixed with the seriousness of Michael Caine that made that movie so iconic. And,
That's why that movie's so good.
Yes. And I plan to watch it with Reagan soon, because I've been trying to get her into the Muppets.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't quite care yet, but I've had her watching the Muppet Show.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably my favorite version. I mean, like, but like, I could watch it like 9 different ways.
Do you ever see the one? You ever watch Cinema Sins on YouTube?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you ever watch the one with the Muppets, they basically talk about how they're like, we can't even really badmouth this movie, but we're going to because we have to, because it's our show. But like, everything they talk about in there is like, they really don't have much to say about it. It was so good.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably the first version of that story that I ever saw.
Yeah. And they have a Netflix. My daughter was talking about it today. They have that new Netflix one, the newer one, like the 3D version, and it's freaking weird. You see that one?
No.
It's really creepy.
Huh.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the one where Jim Carrey is.
Yeah, it's a Jim
is
Carrey.
Scrooge.
I think it's really
yeah.
weird. No.
Yeah,
I think it's a different one. I think it's a different.
They had a Jim Carrey one though.
They had a Jim Carrey
They
one. No,
did.
there's a new one on Netflix that came out last year, and it's really weird.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
It
I'll have
just
to look
looks, but the animation's really weird.
Because
Like,
the
it's
Jim
not a
Carrey
lot.
one was kind of Polar Express,
Yeah.
Uncanny Valley sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And and again, there's been so many adaptations of it, and you've seen it in so many different things. The real Ghostbusters, the cartoon,
Which was,
did it.
oh my God,
Do you remember that one?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic cartoon.
Yeah.
You know how many times I watched the episode Rosebud of the Real Ghostbusters? I
That's a good one.
wore out that VHS. I had the
Yeah.
VHS of Rosebud. It was a sled, and I watched that so many times. I wore that shit out. It was like, the Real Ghostbusters is cinema.
Yeah. Well, and they go into in that one where they do the whole Christmas Carol thing. It was interesting because like basically somebody's being haunted by like the 3 ghosts, but they're like more menacing and stuff. And the Ghostbusters have to stop them. So they catch the ghosts of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future. And it sticks in my head. I remember it. It's so fucking great. And the Real Ghostbusters was such an awesome show. Is an awesome show. And I love everything they did with it because they kept it. It was a very clear, good adaptation after the movie. And in the cartoon, they actually go to see the Ghostbusters movie because they were like, oh, they made a movie about us in one of the episodes. and they started the title
Peter
credits.
Venkman's voice in that? Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's so much good stuff with that cartoon, and that's one that I'll never stop loving. I bought, I think, the first season, and I watch it on my Xbox once in a while. I mean, it doesn't, like, as far as the animation goes, it came out in the late 80s, early 90s, I think, and it doesn't hold up that well,
No, it doesn't.
but it's still fun to watch.
Yeah, and then they had like a knockoff Ghostbusters too, and that's why they had to call it the real Ghostbusters, because there was another Ghostbusters that was really weird.
Right.
That one was
And then
good,
they
too.
went in. Sorry, Sam, go ahead.
So that one was good too. I enjoyed that one.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, it was good. I just remember like being very confused about why there was two of them, and why they
Right.
had to call it the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Well, and then they did Ghostbusters Extreme, or the Extreme Ghostbusters. I can't remember what it was, but it was a new generation of Ghostbusters that were all like college students and stuff. And Egon was like their mentor.
I don't remember.
And I
that
watched.
one.
Oh yeah, I watched all of that one. That one was good. I think that one was like late 90s, maybe.
Yeah, I was probably too old for that.
One of them was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Ah, I got woke. No, I'm just joking.
It was woke before woke was a thing. But no, like one of them
But it
was
was
in a
done well.
wheelchair. Yeah, it was. And he had
It was
like
well done,
gadgets.
woke.
Yeah. He had gadgets in his wheelchair. It was an all-inclusive Ghostbusters.
Oh, he's like
He was Donatello.
Yeah.
He was Donatello, basically.
Yeah, see if you can find some clips with that. There was a great episode. I think it was a two-parter episode where they did where the new Ghostbusters teamed up with the old Ghostbusters and went out and kicked some heads. It was awesome.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. I don't think I remember that. Never seen it.
Yeah, check it out. It was actually pretty good. I like that show. They did a good job with it. And it was kind of a little bit better animation than what we got with the real Ghostbusters.
Yep.
But there's a new Ghostbusters cartoon coming out soon, but they haven't really shown anything about it, and I think they're waiting until the movie comes out to announce anything. So I have a feeling it's going to be in universe.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wish they do. I wish they, because I think, remember you watched that was that Ghostbusters YouTube show where they had like different sections of the Ghostbusters all over the U.S. I wish they'd like do that where they had like different stations all over the U.S.
That was great. I missed that show, and I thought they were going to do more, but they only went through one season. They probably got a cease and desist, but it was called Ghostbusting 911, and it was like basically a mix of Ghostbusters or Reno 911.
That would be so funny. I'd love that.
That's what it was, man. It was just like incompetent Ghostbusters, basically. Like, apparently one guy this is like they've branched off and everything. They're in a different branch, and like one of the inspectors from headquarters comes in, and he's like, all right, he's like, you guys know that you have to have PhDs in order to like work here and operate this equipment. And one guy's like, well, I got a PhD. And they're like, you have a PhD in art history. And that was such a funny show. And they even got Ernie Hudson to cameo on it in the final episode. Yeah.
Classic.
They got him to, yeah. So it was, that was a pretty funny show. And I think if they had been able to do that now when like all the computer animation has gotten better and a little bit more mainstream, they would have had like a better show on their hands.
Oh yeah.
But it was funny for what it was. You got to kind of take the ghosts out of it and like the shitty CGI and just go with like, it's a funny show.
Nice. Cool.
But, yeah.
Okay.
So I know we got a few topics that we each want to talk about. I would say, you know what, Rick, you go first. I've only got one.
Yes. I gotta pull up our news here. Okay. So number one, they have, and I don't think you guys have played this. So they have a Death Stranding movie coming out. Now, I forgot about this. I wrote this blog about game experiences and how like I haven't had like a real true like good game experience in a long time. Although Baldur's Gate is actually really good game experience, to tell you the truth. And I haven't finished it yet. So I know Sam has. And I actually think we should do a streaming of that, multiplayer streaming of that. And so I think that's something we should talk about. But Death Stranding
Absolutely agree.
It was made by Kojima, and Kojima did Metal Gear, and they're going to be, apparently there's a movie in pre-production. Now, I don't know why there's not a Metal Gear movie in production, first of all. But Death Stranding was a trip of a game. So first of all, there was this catastrophic event, and they had these, and I actually pulled up some stuff on Wikipedia, but there was this catastrophic event, and basically it starred Norman Reedus, and he was amazing in this, and he carried around. He was basically a delivery guy, and he delivered packages to these cities called knots, and he had to carry around like a fetus because fetuses were in between life and death. Okay, it's a friggin'
What?
trip. I'm telling you. Yeah, yeah.
Norman Reedus' fetus.
No, he had to. The fetus was taken out of still mothers,
Yeah.
and but you gained this like connection to this fetus, like you fell in love with this fetus that he carried around. I'm not joking. Like you like because the fetus like move around and cry and stuff like that, but you carried around this fetus because the fetus can um detect what's called beach things. So these beach things were created by basically and I'm probably explaining this very badly, corpses, dead bodies, by a process called necrosis. Um, and so it's basically what it would detect these shadows created by dead bodies. And so these shadows would like attack you. And it's very eerie because it's like this body, shadow of a body, but it's like nothingness in it, like in its face staring at you, and you'd have to fight it. And it was such a wild, but it was such a good game. But it's like, how does somebody come up with this idea like this? And there'd be the storms that would come down, and the storms would hurt you. And then other players would be playing, but you'd never see other players. But when they die, you can pick up their packages and deliver it for them. It was such a crazy game, and I beat it, but it was such a great, and this came out in 2018, and I beat this game, but it was such a crazy experience. And if you ever get the chance, if it's on PC, play this game. It is such a wild experience, but it is coming out, it is in pre-production, and I couldn't be any more, I don't know if I'm excited, but I am intrigued on what they are coming up with. So I'm kind of like, based on what I'm saying, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
Well, first, Rick, I do want to say that I very much enjoy your descriptions of everything because it all sounds like the words of a lunatic. What?
It does sound crazy, doesn't it? But like, who comes
It
up with this
does.
stuff? Like, but it's Kojima.
He may
Kojima's
just
a mad genius, though.
If you were to ask
Rick
me,
may
like,
just like
yeah,
Rick may just like super crazy things anyway. So
yeah. Well, if you were to ask me, like, hey, hey, Adam, take a guess of what Death Stranding is, that would not have even come. I would not have even come close. Not close at all. If you had told me, like, hey, Norman Reedus is in it and he has to deliver a package, now make up the story about that. Like, I would never, ever, ever be able to come up with that.
And Matt
crazy ass
in it too.
I like him.
He's really good in it too.
Yeah. But that sounds wild. But I think if they do it right, it could be a good show. I feel like they're putting a lot more effort into video game movies now. So I'll see. I'll wait till the trailer comes out and I'll decide if I'm going to watch it. I haven't played the game. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of intrigued to play it now. But I do want to circle back to your comment about they haven't made a movie about Metal Gear yet. They did make a movie, and it was called Escape from L.A.
Don't say that is not the same thing, not at all. He has an eye patch. Okay.
No,
the character was based on him. The character was based on him in Metal Gear Solid. In Metal Gear Solid, that character, Snake. They even have the same name, Snake.
Yep. But the reason we haven't gotten a Metal Gear Solid movie is the budget. There's not enough money in all of Hollywood for the budget for a movie about Metal Gear Solid.
No, it's too crazy of a story.
Scratch that. Old Snake has an eye patch, not young Snake.
Yeah. Well, in any case, they're the same character.
Well, Liquid doesn't count. He turns into Revolver Ocelot.
They're the same character. Let's just be honest. Same character.
Clones. They're clones. They're clones of yeah.
Oh, I was talking about Kurt Russell.
No, they're not the same. It is based on them, yes.
Agree to disagree. It is based on him, yes. But I mean, obviously, they're very different stories, but it's all kind of the same
But hey,
concepts.
what was it? Return from LA when he's like shooting basketball and hitting 3-pointers and I mean,
No, that was
Mhm.
just, I think it was just Escape from LA.
or is it Escape from?
Yeah.
Oh, what did I say? Return from LA or something?
Yeah. But
Return,
then,
Yeah.
yeah,
return.
but he starts a tidal wave, and Steve Buscemi was in the movie. It was like, it
Mhm.
was a
It's been
terrible
so
movie.
long since I've seen that.
It's Escape from New York was just hailed as one of the worst movies ever made. Sam, you want to go next?
Sure. I just had basically two trailers that I saw in the last couple of days. One was they're coming out with a new Beverly Hills Cop, Return of Axel Foley, which I was excited about. I loved those movies as a kid. I'm really interested because it looks like it's got such a similar vibe to the old movies. I don't know how they're going to make that translate to today's time. I wonder if he's going to be doing his gay voice and talking about herpes simplex 10 anymore. But
Great scene.
yeah, I love the movie. I thought it was interesting. What do you guys think? Did you watch the trailer I sent?
I did. I watched it. I hope I hope he brings back that personality. Like, I hope that there's
Yeah.
not really much of a difference, because all the movies I really loved, and I thought they were excellent. And Eddie Murphy does such a good job with that character.
Mhm.
The trailer looked good. It looks like it's action packed. There wasn't a lot of speaking lines, so I'm hoping that they're kind of saving some of the good stuff for the movie. And I think was it just a teaser, or was it a full trailer?
It seemed like it was just a teaser, and I mean, it was only like a minute and a half long, so I'm fairly certain it was just a teaser.
Cool.
Just to
Yeah,
say,
I mean,
hey, we're actually making this.
yeah. Well,
Stay tuned.
and I thought it looked good. I was like, I'm ready to go see it. Because there's so many great things, and that was the movie that launched Eddie Murphy's career. It was originally
Mhm.
supposed to star Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
No? Oh yeah, no, they
No.
were supposed. It was supposed to originally, it was going to star Sylvester Stallone, and he didn't like it because he didn't think it was. He thought it was too silly, and he wanted it to be more of an action movie, and he ended up getting fired from it. And then they contacted Eddie Murphy, and that was the movie that launched his whole career, because he had just really been doing SNL before that and a couple of comedy parts, but like this made him a star.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, we saw the return of Judge Reinhold and John Ashton. Side note about Judge Reinhold: as I was growing up and I saw his name, I always thought he was a real judge for a long time.
Same.
I thought he was an actual judge, and that was just how he went by. And I was like, that's cool. But I was young and dumb. Rick, what do
Yeah.
you think?
I didn't watch the preview. I haven't watched Beverly Hills Cop since I was a kid, so I don't remember much about it. I remember he had a jacket.
Yeah.
It was
that's
a good.
fair.
It was a good movie. It was a good movie, and I feel
Yeah.
like they did a really good job, like kind of keeping that that feel of like him being an actual detective and everything. But his lines are so great, and that, just the part where he gets thrown through the window and the cops show up. He's like, "Oh, thank God you guys are here." He's like, "I want to file a report," and they're like, "Yeah, you're disturbing me." He's like, "I got thrown through a fucking window." It's like, "How am I disturbing people?" And they're like, "Yeah, you're causing a disturbance." He's like, "I got thrown through a fucking window." Like, just so much of that movie is great, and I can't wait to see this one.
Yep. So the other one that I saw that looked interesting, I can't tell if it's going to be good, but it looks like they've got a good production value. It's got some good actors. Is If. It's got Ryan Reynolds in the lead and Emily Blunt, and it was written by John Krasinski. From what I got on the trailer, it looks like imaginary friends are real, and they call themselves If. Hence the name of the movie. And Ryan Reynolds and his daughter. I think it's his daughter in the movie. It was. I've been on a lot of cold medicine the last couple of days, so
Sure.
you forgive me if I lose my words. But basically his imaginary friend comes back, and his daughter can see it, and they have to help the imaginary friends that don't have friends. And
Yeah.
I don't know, looked kind of cutesy, but at the same time, kind of like creepy. I don't know. It had an interesting vibe. I thought it looked. I'm probably gonna go out of my way to see it.
Yeah, I'll
Some of
probably
the
watch it.
voices I see on here: Steve Carell, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Maya Rudolph, Jon Stewart, Sam Rockwell, Vince Vaughn. So there's a lot
Yep.
of big name actors in this.
Christopher Maloney. Yeah. No, that's it. Is like it's got this huge cast of like of
Yeah.
stars that I love watching and so much that I'm like, and it's tough because from the trailer I can't tell if it's going to be good. I agree with you, Sam. I
Yeah.
can't tell if it's going to be good. I was like, Ryan Reynolds, of course, he brings a certain charm to his movies, but it's this, it's tough because it's like it does look a little childish, and it's like, am I going to enjoy it? My kids would probably enjoy it, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see with that one. But I agree with you. I'm kind of on the fence about it, but it looks like an interesting concept nonetheless.
What is the rating on it? Does anybody see
PG.
that? PG. So okay, it's not gonna be too creepy,
So it's
scary
looks
at
like
all.
it's more
but
for children. I mean, I mean maybe not children. I mean, yeah, child friendly.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure. But maybe it's going to probably tie in a little bit of adult humor so that the parents like watching it because they do that with the children's movies now.
yep.
But cool. Anything else to say about that one?
No, that was it. I just thought it looked interesting. I'm probably gonna try and watch it.
Cool. And last thing we'll talk about, this one's for me. Dune Part 2, the trailer released this week. And that's one that I'm really excited to see because I really liked the first one. It dragged a little bit at times. And it was definitely a build up to this one. But I thought it was good. I thought it was way better than whatever we got back in the 70s. I really like the cast that's coming out. Timothy Chalamet was great in the part, but this one's also going to have Christopher Walken in it. Florence Pugh is going to be in it. Zendaya, of course, because she was in the last one. There's a lot of good actors.
Love Florence Pugh.
Oh yeah, looks like Jason Momoa comes back somehow. I don't know. Excited to see it though, because it was really well done. The first part, anyways. It was a 3-hour movie, but it was really well done. And I just enjoyed the way they did the character building, the story building, the world building. So I'm excited to go see it.
It was just so slow, and I just
yeah.
it was good. It was good. It was just such a slow burn, and I just hope the second one does pick it up. Because I mean, like, I want to watch the first one again. It's just like I just don't want to spend 3 hours of my life watching the first one again.
I know.
I mean, I think I watched it over the course of like 4 days.
That sounds about right.
And Dave Bautista was in it too.
Yeah, and I went into that movie having no concept of anything about Dune. I'd never read the book.
It's like Game of Thrones in space.
I think I saw the original movie a long time ago once, and I don't remember anything about it other than the shields when they're training, where they just look like Minecraft people.
Yeah.
Like that's all I remember from the first movie or the original movie.
Yeah,
but
and it was a cult.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a cult classic. The original one. It wasn't very good, but there's like a huge following behind it. Obviously, a lot of fans of the book. So, I never read the book either, but I really enjoyed the first part. I thought it was good, and I'm looking forward to seeing at least part 2 here. That's really all I got to say. I think we have it up on our Facebook page, so check it out if you get a chance. Or just go to YouTube, whatever you want to do, but come to our Facebook page and like and share it.
Give it a like,
Shameless
give it a
plug.
follow.
Give it a like,
Subscribe.
follow. Yeah, cool. I think that covers everything we wanted to talk about with that. What are we doing next? We gonna do favorite Christmas TV shows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Don't sound so excited.
So the episode I picked was my favorite show of all time, The Office. And so season 3 of The Office is kind of where Michael Scott actually kind of started to find his footing, because season 1 Michael Scott was kind of a very unlikable character, and they decided to kind of start making him kind of more of a dumb character, and he was evolved throughout the series, going into season 2 and season 3. And my favorite Christmas episode of all time is the Benihana Christmas, and it's a 2-part episode, and it starts out with so he's dating his realtor Carol, which is his wife in real life, and she wants to talk to him in his office, and um he put his head over her ex-husband's face from when they went skiing with their family a couple years ago, and he doesn't find anything wrong with that. And and she's quite disgusted at him, and he's like, "But I got tickets to Jamaica," and she breaks up with him. Well, he breaks up with her rather, and
Mhm.
and so Andy tries cheering him up and takes him to Benihana, and Dwight sits separate from them. Oh, by the way, Harold Ramis directs that episode, by the way. I don't know if anybody knows this. Harold Ramis, famous for being Egon, but he also is fantastic writer. Wrote many famous movies. This episode, though, I noticed has a lot of racial problems in it that I didn't think was a problem at first. But I'll talk about it in a little bit. But I think it's funny because they go to this Asian restaurant, they go to a Japanese steakhouse, and Dwight ends up sitting apart from them, and so it's Andy, uh, Michael, Jim, and Dwight, and then there's a couple sitting between Dwight and the rest of them, and Dwight starts arguing with the Japanese chef over what knife he should be using, and the lady next to him is sitting there like, well, I think he would know. And then Andy is trying to get the waitress to imagine something, has her closing her eyes. And Michael Jim, sorry, you guys are making me nervous with your quietness. You guys are
we're just
real
listening.
quiet.
This is our
What
favorite
do you
part
want
of
to
I'm
every
nervous by
episode.
how silent you are.
This is our favorite part of every episode when you're explaining something.
So,
man. It's great.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
We're here for you.
I don't like
Yeah.
I don't like the silence.
we're giving you your time in the spotlight.
So I think anyways, we're gonna be cutting some of this out.
No, we're not leaving it all in.
No, we're cutting it out. We're going
The best part is anytime you explain like a movie or a TV show, if somebody hasn't seen it, they basically have when you're done.
Yeah, but only in a fever dream.
Andy's telling the waitress to like imagine something, and Dwight's saying, Cindy, what are you doing? And then Jim says, he's explaining how to clean a duck. And then Dwight goes, Cindy, hold its neck back, insert the knife beneath the jaw, and bring it all the way around. The woman next to him was like, what are you talking about? And there's a part, one of my favorite lines in the whole episode is where Michael's like crying, and he's talking about they got your back, because he's talking about the boys. He's like, they got your back after your hose ripped your heart out for no good reason, and you're nothing but great to your hoe. And you told her that she was the only hoe for you, and that she was better than all the other hoes in the world. And then suddenly, she's not your hoe no more. That's like my favorite line. It's one of my favorite lines in the whole Office. But like it gets a little dicey when Michael brings a couple of the Japanese women back, and he can't tell them apart. He first of all, acts like he's in love with one of them, even though he's never really he's never met her before tonight, and he keeps forgetting which one's which, and he has to use a permanent marker to mark one of them so he can remember which one's which. And then he tries taking her to Jamaica, and she's like, "I got school." Oh my god, it's so stupid, but it's I don't know, it's a 2-part episode, and I don't know, it's I don't know, what you guys got any thoughts on that?
I do like that episode. That is a good one, and it is so funny. And there's like, back when they were kind of using like the racial humor and everything to like their full advantage, and it was like Michael just kind of being oblivious to what he's saying, but they say such funny things in it. But like they do it so well just to show like he's oblivious. He's not a racist. He's just oblivious to what he's saying. But it is such a good episode, and it kind of like in that I believe that's where they kind of started everything off with Jan.
Yes, at the end.
Yeah, because he ends up taking her to Jamaica. Spoiler alert. If you haven't seen it, but that is a funny
You haven't
episode.
seen The Office. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, my wife.
I dislike watching cringe, so that's like my least favorite Christmas episode from The Office because the entire thing is just cringe, and it's so hard for me to sit through that episode. But I mean, you described it exactly how it happened, which I mean, holy cow, you're right. You're right, racist, everything else, but man, that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
I guess it's just I
might
was
watch The Office a few times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
And I do want to talk about runner up real quick. The Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. If you haven't seen it, they kidnapped Kevin Bacon. With what's the girl's name?
Which one?
Drax and
With antenna.
Oh, Drax and Mantis.
Yeah.
Mantis like never was like really a centerpiece because she came in the second one. And she gets her time in the sun in this, and she's so funny in this. And and Drax, Dave Bautista is Drax. I don't really like Dave Bautista as a person all the time, but him as Drax is like the funniest freaking thing ever. So Mantis and Drax are just a great comedy team. And also, Just for Sam, the Doctor Who Christmas special with the first David Tennant episode, amazing. If you ever get to watch David Tennant as Doctor Who, that's the one.
I've never seen Doctor Who.
I really liked
me and Sam used to argue because he called Doctor Who gay. I don't know if you remember. He might have been too drunk.
Maybe.
That used to was probably one night.
Yeah. Well, and I really liked the Guardians of I really like the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special too. I thought that was a lot of fun. And it tied into the movies really well. It didn't just kind of try to do its own thing, but it had some really funny moments, and like, it was a good Guardians of the Galaxy 2.5.
The song the Random Aliens sang was fantastic.
Yes, I got that on my Spotify Christmas list. The What is Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
That
was a good one. Oh man. Let's see. How about I go next?
Yes, please.
I'm going to be quick because last week I already talked about my favorite, which was the Woodland Critters Christmas from South Park. So I'm just going to hit runner-ups, and I have 3 runner-ups, and I'm not going to talk too much about all of them. 2 of them are from Community. You have Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas, where they're all the claymation.
Yeah.
Where they're in that, they're basically in his mind and everything as he is trying to cope with the fact that his mom's not coming to visit him. That one was like really funny, and of course, Joel McHale was so good in that. Because they're in there and he's the first one to go because Abed's like kicking people out of his imagination as they're like trying to like shit on Christmas. And Joel McHale's like a jack in the box, and he's saying that, and he just keeps making sarcastic comments. And Abed's like, "Oh, you hear that? That's humbugs." It's like they don't like sarcasm and everything. And then He's like, oh no. He's like, what am I gonna do? The humbugs are coming, and they like start singing. He's like, oh no, I'm getting kicked out. What am I gonna do? I guess I'll go get laid. But the whole thing was like really good. They had a lot of fun with that one, you can tell. And then the season 3 Christmas special, which was the what was the name of it? The regional holiday music, which was basically a spoof on Glee, which is what
I nearly put that one as one of mine. That was a great episode.
It's really good. It's really good. I really like that episode. They're basically brainwashing each other to come sing at this thing because none of them want to do it at first.
And it's got
Allison
the
Brie.
best 80s scene. It's got the best 80s scene ever.
Yeah. Allison Brie is Annie when she's seducing Jeff so that he'll join the team and everything. And she's playing like this dumb bimbo. And it's such a great part of that show, and that's why I really love that one. And I think that will probably be the top of my runner-ups. But the last one that I'll give honorable mention to is a very supernatural Christmas, which was season 3, episode 8, and that was a fun one because you got to see Sam and Dean do something different, and it's the only Christmas episode they have, as far as I know, as far as I remember. But they're basically dealing with what they think is evil Santa. And if you haven't watched this show, watch all of it. You'll love it. But they basically think that they're going after evil Santa. Turns out to be some kind of god that basically eats children and stuff, eats the parents. And they go through this whole thing. But really what hit me well was at the very end of the episode, because they were talking through the whole thing, how they don't celebrate Christmas. It was never a thing for them. They do a couple of flashbacks to stuff, but at the very end, they exchange gifts. And it's just some stuff they bought from the gas station. And Sam really wanted to do this. He really wanted to do the Christmas because Dean was about to go to hell, basically. Because he's like, let's just do this. Yep. Let's do a Christmas, together. But, I think Sam ends up giving Dean, a quart of oil and like a granola bar or something, or beef jerky. And it's just so great to watch them at the very end of this episode just celebrate Christmas together. And it hits you right in the feels, especially after what happens later on in the show. And again, I'm not going to go into any of that, but that was a really great episode, and that's one I could watch every year. And
yeah, no, that's a good episode.
So yeah, Sam, you're up.
All right, so I've got 3, kind of like Adam, no particular order. And I was kind of scrambling and to figure out because there are so many great Christmas episodes throughout, all these years of TV. But I came down to more or less 2 and then added a third. First one I can remember is Smallville episode, or season 5, episode 9. And that was Lexmas. Basically Lex has a dream sequence after he's shot twice, and he's in the hospital, and he has a dream sequence where he's married to Lana, and he's got a kid, Alexander, and Lana's pregnant, and that he's basically a middle class person at this point. He has a budget to buy a Christmas tree, and he's going through kind of It's a Wonderful Life sort of thing.
Okay, I remember that episode.
Yeah, and his mom is the ghost that's guiding him, and she's like, you just have to change your or make some decisions, change your ways, and this life can be yours. And then towards the end, when Lana is going to give birth, she dies in childbirth, and he's like accusing his mom. He's like, why did you show me this? This is supposed to make me change my ways. Why did you show me all of this? And she's like, because there's love now. And he basically decides, F it. I only care about money. Money's the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
And that was a fantastic episode, because you think, or you feel like through the entire episode it's going one way and he's actually going to start being a better man. But at the end you just realize, no, he truly is Lex Luthor that we all know and hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll say about that show is that Michael Rosenbaum is the GOAT when it comes to Lex Luthor. He is the best Lex Luthor we've ever had in any medium. And they did such a good job with writing on that show, balancing him between light and dark. And they show his point of view where a lot of what he's trying to do, he thinks he's doing the right thing. He's not evil. He thinks he's doing the right thing. And there's kind of a certain point where you look at Clark and like, you know, with their relationship, you're kind of like, man, Clark, you kind of caused this shit. Like you almost kind of get on Lex's side with some of it. But they do such a great job balancing his character. And that episode was just kind of proof of that.
Yeah. And then, so the next one that I came to, it was mainly for just one scene, was Justice League episode Comfort and Joy. It's, I think, the only Justice League episode where it's all one episode, because they'd really in the past kind of split them up into two episodes, two big bads, or two major storylines. But this episode was basically one episode, and they have, Flash with Ultra Humanite giving out, or Ultra Humanite ends up helping Flash give toys to sick kids. They have Green Lantern and Hawk Girl building a snowman and having a snowball fight, and then getting into a fight at a bar. But the scene that just I always come back to is when Superman takes Martian Manhunter home to Ma and Pa Kent's. And it was just that scene is just fantastic to me. I don't even want to go into it. Adam, you may want to explain it a little better.
Oh no, I think you explained it fine. That was a good episode. I completely forgot about that. That was a great Christmas episode. And like you said, the Flash with his enemy Ultra Humanite going to go deliver presents to sick kids and everything together. And that one hit home. But yes, when Martian Manhunter goes home with Superman and or with Clark Kent, and he introduced them to Ma and Pa Kent, and but because he doesn't really understand the tradition, he didn't have a family to go to. And when he went there, and Ma and Pa Kent like welcomed him with open arms, like, yeah, you're welcome here anytime. And just like
sweater,
right. And it's just like he's home, He's like, he like on Earth, he is home now, and he's got a family, which is the Justice League.
Yeah. And you can't forget when Superman tries to X-ray vision through the presents, and they're lined in lead.
Yeah.
And Pa Kent's like, oh yeah, we've always wrapped your presents in lead, and Superman's like, you mean Santa Claus?
Yeah. That was a really good one. That was good. Yeah, no, props to you on that one, because I completely forgot about that episode. I haven't watched that show in a while.
So the other ones, I'll move through these a little quicker. All of the Psych Christmas episodes, I include the first movie on that. They were all just fantastic. If you haven't seen those and you haven't seen Psych, you're crazy. It's one of the best shows of all time. But all the Christmas episodes were just so well done, I couldn't pick. I know, Adam, you've got a lot to talk about with Psych, so I'll let you jump in.
You know what? I love Psych. I think one of the best episodes they did was when they did the Bad Santa, which we talked about Bad Santa last week. The Bad Santa one, and they actually had oh god, what's his name? The dwarf from it. Come on the show, and he was kind of like his guiding angel through the whole thing. And it was a fun episode, because like he was stuck. There was something that happened with
Tony
one of
Cox.
the cases.
Sorry.
Tony Cox. Thank you. So they had so something happened with one of his cases where they said he was wrong about something, and then ends up solving it at the very end. But he goes through this whole thing with Tony Cox on trying to solve this case. It was a fun episode. I like that one. That was probably my favorite one from the Psych Christmas specials.
Yeah. Rick, you got anything from that?
I love Psych.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't want to explain anything anymore. Hey, we're just picking on you. We love your explanations. They're fun.
Yeah. No, so I have one special mention. I know we've all watched Ted Lasso, right?
No.
No, you haven't?
I haven't watched
Ted
it yet.
Lasso. It's a fantastic show. Hannah Waddingham, who's a main character in the show, tall blonde woman. She, I had no idea, has done a lot of like singing theater. And she has a special on Apple TV, Hannah Waddingham's Home for Christmas. She is absolutely stunning in that show and in that special. And her voice is absolutely amazing. So if you want to see some of the people from Ted Lasso show up and her just sing her heart out, highly recommend. Go
Sure.
watch that. It's fantastic.
Cool. All right. Cool. So last thing we're going to talk about is just stuff we're looking forward to in 2024. We are going to be doing a New Year's episode where we're going to be talking about our favorites of 2023. But there's a lot of stuff coming out next year that we're all pretty excited for. We've talked about it in some previous episodes with some of the trailers that have come out. For me, the one I'm looking forward to the most is going to be the new Ghostbuster movie. I am a Ghostbuster fanatic. I love it. One day I will have their vehicles sitting in my driveway. But I'm not even joking. I'm going to have that one day. But I'm really excited for that. It looks like it's going to be really good. I've seen some stuff from Camille Nanjiani talking about, the movie does have some scares in it, but it still keeps the feeling. It still has the comedy, and I think that's really exciting to me. I know that they are finishing up production right now, and it releases in March. And I'm excited because I think that this is going to be the first step into the next generation of Ghostbusters. Like I mentioned earlier, they're going to have a new cartoon. They're talking about doing a live action show too. I think Ghost Corp is going to just take off, and it's going to be in a lot of different mediums. And you can see that it's in the hands of people who want to take care of the franchise and want it to succeed. So that is probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most in 2024. That and Deadpool 3.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. 2023 was kind of dead,
It
to
was.
tell you the truth. And it was hard for me when we talk about it. It was hard for me to pick. I could only pick out, like, as far as movie goes, two things. And 2024 looks lit. And I'm looking at it like Deadpool 3, Beetlejuice 2, Joker. I don't know, like Lady Gaga's in it, so I don't know what that is all about. But I am still kind of looking at Joker, a new Sonic. There's a couple things that I'm kind of excited about. Thunderbolts, I'm kind of interested, but I don't know what Disney still has in store. But yeah, Deadpool 3 is probably the biggest thing. Looking at X-23, looking at Wolverine coming back, Hugh Jackman. I mean, it's just like we have been waiting for Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman to get together for years. This has been teased for such a long time. How long has Deadpool been just teasing Hugh Jackman, like, in his movies and commercials, whatever? Like, that's just anticipated. So you're just looking for something big, some big jokes, some sexual tension between Deadpool and Wolverine. That's just the biggest thing I'm looking for, is just some kind of sexual tension between them.
Well, I think that, that Disney looked at Ryan Reynolds and said, "You're a moneymaker. Do whatever you want." And he was like, "Cool." He's like, "I want Hugh Jackman to be Wolverine." And they were like, "Go for it." Because I feel like he's just got carte blanche in anything he does now.
Yeah. Like he called Hugh Jackman. He was like, "Hey, I want you to be Wolverine again. I'm gonna be able to get you however much money you want to be Wolverine again, and ask for a lot."
Yeah.
And then said, "All right, Disney, I want Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Give him a call."
Well, it's like anything Ryan Reynolds touches turns to gold. The first Deadpool movie, they slashed his budget. They gave him such a low budget that the final scene, the whole thing about him leaving his guns in the car was because they didn't have the budget to shoot a firefight. So he runs through with a bunch of swords, killing everyone. And that was just his solution to it. So they were like, "Hey, we're going to give you this measly budget." And he still turned the movie into the highest grossing rated R movie of all time.
Yep.
Yeah, and Deadpool's going to be the thing that turns Disney Marvel around, because it's a sinking ship at this point. But I think they're already looking to do that, it sounds like, with, I don't know what they're actually trying to do with some firings and hirings or something, especially if they're keeping Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, Doesn't sound
there's a
like
contract somewhere that she's got somebody by the short hairs.
right. Yeah, what is it that's is there something in there? Like, does Kathleen Kennedy have something in there somewhere in Deadpool? Is there something going? Is there somebody in a wheelchair in there?
Yeah.
Is there what's going on there? Is there some?
Well, Kimiko and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I mean that's that right there.
Yeah,
Right.
but she's great.
Yeah.
So they are. Yes, they're
Kamiko
fantastic.
was the best of Deadpool too. She was so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Disney is slowly going downhill, but I think that they're starting to kind of make the right moves. First of all, with Dave Filoni now running the Star Wars universe, I'm going to give that props. I think that he's going to do justice for some of that. Might be too late, but we'll see. I like Dave Filoni. I like his take on things, and I know that he's also going to bring Jon Favreau into the fold, and the two of them are just going to make magic. They're going to make a baby.
No.
But yeah, I mean, when you look at Disney and their big corporate, so I watched a clip from South Park the other day. You remember the one with the Jonas Brothers? You remember the episode with the Jonas Brothers, where Mickey Mouse beats the shit out of them?
Yes.
You don't fucking talk to me like that.
Those little girls are stupid.
Zooming on their junk. Yeah, that was such a good episode, and just watching.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, just watching Mickey Mouse beat the shit out of the Jonas Brothers. That was some pretty funny stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah, well, I guess we're gonna see what happens with Deadpool 3. What do you got?
I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah.
I mean, the things I'm looking forward to the most, I guess Reacher counts as 2024 at this point. I don't know. I think because it finishes all the episodes in 2024. I'm definitely looking forward to Reacher. I'm looking forward to Terminal List. And as much as the game has been pissing me off and Bungie has been doing so many weird decisions as of late, I'm looking forward to Destiny 2's Final Shape. Pardon me. It's supposed to be the last big expansion of Destiny 2. There's no telling if we'll get a Destiny 3. There's supposed to be some not seasonal content, but story content coming after that. But I mean, Bungie may be just overtaken completely by Sony, and it may go in a completely different direction. Who knows? But they've been working on this for a long time, and I really hope that they, it goes out on a high note, if nothing else.
Yeah. Well, and I think I only played through the first season of Destiny. I think that was it. I liked it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Destiny 2. I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. I just couldn't keep paying for expansions. I just didn't have that kind of cash flow. And it goes back to what we were talking about last time, where we were talking about the expansions that keep coming out. It's like, if you play Destiny 2 by itself with none of the expansions or anything, it's a fairly short game, and it's a relatively incomplete game.
Yeah, and you don't even have the original story of Destiny 2 in the game anymore.
No.
Yeah, they've content vaulted like 95% of the game at this point. They do keep adding stuff on. It has gotten a lot better, but I've gotten so tired of just it over and over again. And I thought, two seasons ago, I was like, all right, I'm going to take this season off. I'm going to, come back to it fresh. And I re-downloaded it like a month ago, and I opened it up and I went, I can't do it. I can't get into this right now. I'm just burned out on it. And it took me like 9 years to get burnt out on this game. But they've updated things that, in my opinion, ruined the game. Not necessarily ruined it, but made it less fun. They've added things that are a rehash of old things. It's just, I don't know. I'm not interested in it a whole lot anymore. But like I said, I really do hope Destiny 2 comes back strong with the Final Shape.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, talking about 2024, there's so much to really look forward to in various mediums. Um, like I said, I know that there's some good shows that are coming out. I think Stranger Things season, is it 5 or 6 now? Final season is coming out, I think, in 2024.
And Eddie's not dead.
He's not dead. No, he's
Yeah,
dead.
they said because they never showed Eddie dying.
He got eaten by bats.
They never showed it.
I don't know. That sounds like
so
fake
news
news.
is he's not dead.
I don't know. I don't know.
And he was the best character too. Yeah.
He was the best character. But I think he's dead. I think it would be cheap if they brought him back.
But they never showed him dying.
I know, but it would like ruin his whole character arc if they brought him back.
No, it'd be badass because he'd be like Ash. Like he'd be like, they just show him just like, just killing things with his guitar.
No. I mean, his whole story arc in the last season was, he was kind of a coward at first, like just kind of this, Dungeons and Dragons.
So Ashes.
But but he already completed his arc. By the end of it, he was a hero. His sacrifice made it so that they could stop the Vecna. But anyways, I love that show, and I hope that that last season is going to be just as good as what we've seen. I'm trying to think about what else we've been following that comes out next year.
Oh, The Boys.
The Boys.
New season of The Boys.
New season of The Boys.
Hopefully, part 2 of Chucky.
Yes, that starts in February.
The writers is the writer strike over yet?
Yeah,
because they stopped they stopped at episode 4 because of the writers, and I think that's the same for Invincible. Which the first 4 episodes of Invincible, if you haven't watched that, they have a new Paper Mario coming out.
Really?
Yeah, it says Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door.
Oh, you know what I saw in the list of video games coming out? Adam, you're probably going to be interested in it. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's going to be in VR too.
Hey, Adam is not the only Killer Clowns from Outer Space fan, all right?
He's just the one that I've heard talk about it the most. Come on. I'm sure
not,
you're into it too.
I talk about it more than Adam. Adam doesn't know shit about Paper. I'm talking about Paper Mario. About
I don't know anything about
Killer
Paper
Clowns
Mario.
from Outer Space.
I know enough about it that I'm going to get the VR game, and I'm going to be a killer clown murdering people.
There is a game that I'm looking forward to, or that I wish I had a VR system for. Bulletstorm VR. Bulletstorm is one of my favorite shooter games of all time, and they're coming out with a VR game in January. I wish I had VR just for that, because holy crap, that game was amazing.
Yeah, I remember me and you played that together, and you like introduced me to it, and you were like, "This is like the greatest intro because you're just walking around your ship drunk as fuck."
Mm-hmm.
I remember that game. It was so much fun, and it had a point system like old school arcade games for your kills.
Yep. Now, has anybody seen? Well, I don't know. Sam, do you ever play Final Fantasy? I know Adam does. So
never played it.
Final Fantasy 16 was only released on PS5, but I know they're releasing it on PC. 16. So I am excited for that to come out on PC.
Yeah. There's so much good stuff like
and the
out.
part 2. Okay, so the part 2 of Final Fantasy 7 remake is coming out.
Okay.
So
I haven't played the remake yet.
Yeah. It was kind of annoying that part 1 came out and then you got to wait for part 2.
I didn't realize they split them up into parts. I didn't even know that.
Well, I guess it makes sense because the original Final Fantasy 7 was 2 discs, but it's just annoying that you had to wait 2 years,
right,
for the second part. But it was pretty good.
I know. I don't know. I want to play it. I really do. I just don't want to spend the money. I'm like, I already beat Final Fantasy 7 way back in the day. I know it's remastered and everything, but it's just like how Skyrim keeps getting my money somehow. I just can't keep doing that. I can't keep buying remastered games that I loved as a kid because I'm just buying the same thing over and over and spending another $60 a game on it.
I'm not going to lie. I'm looking at this list of games and I'm not too excited about much.
No.
I mean, I am probably not going to buy too much in the next year.
You know what?
24 looks pretty bad.
Okay, so I forgot to talk about this trailer earlier, and I'm a little embarrassed. Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire.
Yes.
That trailer was so awesome. just at the fact that the trailer concluded with Godzilla and King Kong running side by side into battle, I got a bit of a chub. That was nice. I liked it.
Yeah. There were people upset about Godzilla wouldn't run like that. And I was like, did you see the movie back in the day where Godzilla just leaned back and slid on his tail? A freaking robot. I'm like, come on. You can't get upset with how Godzilla runs now.
Well, and I really loved Godzilla vs. Kong. I thought that was a great movie.
Yeah.
And when I say
It
great,
was.
I mean, it was a great kaiju movie that didn't have to
Yes.
really make sense in the plot at all. It was just fun to watch. And that's what it was. It was entertaining. And so it was funny because we watched that. My brother invited me and my wife and then my parents over to their house to watch the movie when it came out. And my mom's like, I haven't seen any of the other movies. I'm like, don't worry about it. You won't get lost. You'll be okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Lizard versus ape. You'll be okay. But, and those movies always follow a certain formula. Every single one of them does when they do the versus movies. Because it's like two characters that you love going head to head. And in the end, they end up teaming up against the real threat.
Yep.
Every
And
single movie does it.
That last fight against Mechagodzilla was freaking phenomenal. That was so well done. Oh my
was
gosh.
Good. Yeah.
Dude, just the amount of destruction that they showed. Oh my gosh. That fight rather was fan-freaking-tastic.
It was so good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh
yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm very excited for the movie. It looks like it's going to be fun. It's going to be them teaming back up and doing battle. And, and I'm a huge fan of the Godzilla and the Kong movies. I'm watching Monarch right now. I'm going to talk about it next time, but because I'm only 5 episodes in. But I really like Monarch. I think they're doing a good job of just kind of showing the story behind the, kind of I guess, I don't know, maybe evil organization. It's hard to tell yet where they're going with it. But they're kind of telling the story behind it. Kurt Russell's doing a great job in that show. Wyatt Russell, his son, plays a younger version of him. And it looks, it's been very, very good so far. You've gotten to see some different monsters in the Monsterverse, and they're not all like giants, but they're still titans because they all have these crazy powers. There's been a couple of monsters that I don't remember from any of the previous movies.
That ice monster was cool.
That was awesome.
Yes.
That was really cool. Like when he just sucks like the heat out of the plane and the guy, oh my God, froze the guy to death.
Yeah.
It's been good. And the whole thing where they I really don't want to spoil anything because that show's still going on right now. But
no episode released today.
Was there? Okay, I gotta watch it. Yep. But yeah, Godzilla, makes appearances almost every episode so far, either in a flashback or, I mean, it's pretty much all flashback, but he's shown up a few times. He hasn't really done much. They've just kind of given glimpses of him doing things. But the show itself is just doing such a great job of storytelling in that universe.
Yep.
And one of my, back to Godzilla X Kong. So what that kind of reminds me of, so me and my brother used to play this game it was GameCube, called Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. And it was a 4-person melee battle where you picked your monster and you just were dropped into a city and you just fought each other until there was one monster left standing. But you could pick up buildings and throw them at each other. You could pick up other monsters and throw them. One of my favorite things was me and my brother would team up and it would be all right, let's take on Ghidorah and whatever else. And it's we'd be walking towards them and then I'd make a sharp turn and grab my brother and pick him up and throw him at the other monsters. He'd get pissed every single time. But it was just such a fun game because each monster had its own unique powers, and it was just, I don't even know how to describe it. Kind of like Mortal Kombat.
Well, I used to play a game in the arcade called Rampage.
That's what I was trying to remember. Rampage was
Rampage. And then you punched the building, and then you'd 8 people in the building, and it was sweet. And you were a big lizard named Lizzie, and
you could be a gorilla too.
You punched helicopters and stuff, and man, why don't they remake that?
They've done a few.
Made them. They made a movie with Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, they made one with The Rock, and it wasn't bad.
It wasn't good.
And that game sounds like a mix between Rampage and Primal Rage.
But
Kind of.
But that was a classic Nintendo game
It was.
Yeah.
or an arcade game.
They did
I don't wanna play
two.
it.
They did two different Rampages on. I think it was Nintendo 64. I think it was Nintendo 64. They did two different ones, and they were fun. It was like updated graphics and everything. So one of them had three characters. You had Lizzie, you had Ralph, the wolf, and then you had George, the monkey. And then the one after that, they had like five different characters, and I can't remember what they are. But I mean, a lot of it was just kind of like, it was Godzilla ripoff.
I was
but it
always Lizzie.
fun. I think I was too.
I was Ralph. I was the wolf.
I think you know what? My new goal is to get the arcade game.
Like an arcade machine.
Yeah, get the arcade and
I
get it
did
right
like-
over here.
I did love that game. That was a good one.
It was. It was one of my favorites. That and Double Dragon.
Yeah, those are good. Did you ever see the Double Dragon movie?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do remember that.
I want my brain to forget it, but I did.
I remember the Double Dragon cartoon.
Yep.
Let's see here, Scott Wolf. Whatever happened to Scott Wolf?
I looked them up
He's
not
party
long
of
ago.
five, baby.
I looked them up not long ago, and it didn't turn out well for them. They did not find success after Double Dragon.
Alyssa Milano was in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Robert Patrick was in it.
I was gonna say the T-1000 was in it.
Yeah, I remember that. And they made Double Dragon really weird. Like the original game was just like a beat 'em up street thing, and then they then later on they evolved it into like weird costumes and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
Sam needs a diaper.
but
And no, they evolved. Then they evolve it into like did they have like lizard freaking? They grew like ears on their like masks and stuff like that later on in the cartoons. Double Dragon.
they did.
They had like a transformation. Yeah.
They
It
crossed-
was really
they crossed-
weird.
They
Yeah, I
crossed
heard it.
swords.
Yeah, it got really weird. It's like, yeah, I remember the cartoon, and I was like, what the hell is this? This was not the original Double Dragon. And I was like, this is freaking stupid. Because the original Double Dragon was like Street Fighter badasses. And I was like, what the hell is this crap? And I'm trying to watch this crap. I'm like, what the hell is this? These people look stupid.
They made a lot of really shitty movies, TV shows, cartoons in the 90s and early 2000s. But yes, the Double Dragon one, yeah, they crossed swords and they got their powers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really screwed it up.
They did.
Why did they ruin such a good thing?
No, it was not good. I remember, I think I watched every episode because I was a kid and I was stupid and thought it was cool, but it was bad.
But I remember, see, look, the original Double Dragon, here it is. They were sleeveless. They had muscles. They had a little headband. If you just Google original Double Dragon, it was just these two badasses with tattoos and muscles, and they're freaking sleeveless, and you're just like, hell yeah, dude, we're about to freaking kick some ass, and they got wristbands, and they're like, let's go, motherfucker, let's kick some ass. And then you look up newer Double Dragon, not newer, I keep pushing Double Dragon, and they're like, look at our stupid ears, and it's like, screw those guys, I could kick their ass, and I'm fat.
Did you ever play the Battletoads and Double Dragon game?
Yes, I remember that.
That was a good one. That was a good one. But you know what? I think we're out of time today, so I think we should wrap this up. You want to do the honors?
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. This is Adam, Rick, and Sam from Spit Take. Please join us next time where we release episodes every Friday. You can find us on Twitter. We are Spit Takers. You can find us on Facebook and TikTok. And please join us every Friday. I think I already said that. And see you next time. Level up, guys.